It was January 20th, 2020. On that night, Kirby Smart may have made the smartest decision that he has ever made since being the head coach of the University of Georgia, because that's the night that Kirby offered low three-star Ladd McConkey. Now, at the time, Ladd McConkey was just a terrific high school player who was too small to play at the D1 level, because that's what everyone told him. He didn't have an offer, or at least from any major D1 programs. But Kirby Smart went to North Murray High School in Chatsworth mid-January of 2020 and saw Ladd McConkey in person, spoke with the coach and said, hey, we like you. We're going to come back. We're going to watch you play basketball. The next week, Kirby watched him play basketball. And the next morning, I believe, or that night, whatever it was, but the official date was January 20th. That's when Kirby Smart, who was already about to close out the top ranked number one, I believe, 2020 class, right? Spots are a big deal. You're bringing in an elite class, but they wanted one more guy. They wanted another playmaker. And that's when they said, okay, we want to give our last scholarship offer to Ladd McConkey. And it was almost all Georgia from there. But Ladd McConkey grew up a Tennessee Volunteer fan. So he went up to Knoxville for an unofficial visit with a Georgia offer in hand, trying to earn an offer from Tennessee. And they basically said, no thanks. In fact, offensive coordinator Jim Chaney, who was previously at Georgia, basically said Ladd McConkey was too small. That's what multiple sources told me. He wanted that Tennessee offer. They didn't give it to him after Georgia had already offered. And if you're Tennessee, you should be offering everyone that Georgia had offered. I know this was before Georgia had won the national championships, but they were still a college football kind of, top 5 program. They were an elite program competing for titles at that time. And Tennessee saw this kid come up who loved them with the Georgia offer, and they still said no thanks. Of course, we know what happened. Ladd McConkey turned out to be one of the best receivers in the Kirby Smart era. But I want to talk about the story, how I remember it, because I cover recruiting, and I remember covering this class with Keely Ringo, Darnell Washington, Jalen Carter, Carson Beck. There were a lot of really good players and a lot of good receivers in that class too. Arian Smith, Marcus Rosemy, Jack Saint, Jermaine Burton. I know a lot of Georgia fans don't like Jermaine Burton. I guess I get all that. Whatever. It was a really good class. Ladd McConkey, I got his ranking right here. Ladd McConkey was ranked, if I can find it, it was in the top 1,000. Number 166 wide receiver prospect, the number 119 prospect in Georgia, and the number 1,131 overall prospect in the country. No one wanted him. Kirby Smart saw him play and used his football mind, his football genius brain to say, you know what? That kid can make some plays. I don't care that other people think he's too small. We may have thought he was too small until we did the research and watched him move and watched him dominate a basketball game. And, the quickness was always there, the athleticism, the burst, the explosiveness. You can see that on the basketball court, and you could see it in the film. This guy did a little bit of everything: quarterback, running back, wide receiver. You return kicks and punts. And the film was outstanding. If you go back and look at it, you would probably say to yourself, okay, this looks like a lot better of a prospect than a barely ranked 3-star kid. But this just goes to show how good Kirby Smart is on the recruiting trail. And I remember reading about him that this was a kid that Georgia liked. Were they going to extend, one late final offer to a kid in the 2020 class? And ended up being him. And so everyone starts doing the research on it. And, I had coaches, some of them tell me that, hey, this was a big deal. We want to see where it goes with Tennessee. And if not, then, it's going to look Georgia's way. And I had one source even tell me that the Georgia offer meant so much to him because it was the first big one. It could have been the first, the only one, period, D1 or not. That even if he did get one from Tennessee, that he could still see him at Georgia. But the fact that this kid was so overlooked, and I got thinking of this topic because I was on a Buffalo radio station earlier this week, and they were asking me about Ladd McConkey, and they said, hey, you want to jump on board and, tell these Buffalo Bill fans what they might be getting out of both Ladd McConkey and A.D. Mitchell? I said, I'd love to. I could talk about Ladd McConkey for 30 minutes, but I started thinking of what made him special. Not only did he make big plays in big moments and big games, just ask Auburn, Florida, TCU, other programs as well. The guy just torched teams, but he did it in the biggest moments. But his ability to get open, create separation, was phenomenal. You cannot stay with this guy, and he works so hard. He's such a competitor, but the quick feet, the burst, the drive, the mental toughness, but the ability to run a route. A lot of sometimes you think it's so easy. Oh, just, boom, run a route and, 5-6 steps or whatever, in a short span. But some guys can do it, and then there's guys who can do it like Ladd McConkey. And there aren't a lot of people who can do it like Ladd McConkey. So in the right system, he is going to thrive. And I think the Buffalo Bills probably would take A.D. Mitchell over Ladd McConkey. But, I was telling those people in Buffalo, like, this is a quiet assassin. This is a kid that's far from a diva, as you can imagine, at the wide receiver position. He's not going to have, quotes from his doubters written on his cleats. He doesn't need that. He doesn't need that. He's going to go out and crush you because he wants to, because he loves football. If anyone had doubters, it was Ladd McConkey, because he wasn't even a top 1,000 prospect out of high school. Are you kidding me? But Kirby Smart bet on him, and Kirby Smart won the jackpot, and so did everyone else in the Georgia program. So did you watching this video, because this guy helped Georgia win national titles, 2 of them to be exact, and had a monster game in the second one. So his mark is left in Athens, and Ladd McConkey will go down as one of the better big-time receivers in program history, and he was that 3-star kid from the North Georgia mountains that everyone overlooked, but Kirby Smart. And you could talk about how well he does on the recruiting trail. He gets the 5 stars. He gets the 4 stars. You can't say he doesn't develop or his staff members don't develop, because they also take the 3 stars and turn them into first-round picks. It was Jordan Davis. Devonta Wyatt was a low 4-star. Eric Stokes, I think, was a 3-star. The list goes on. And Ladd McConkey could hear his name go in the first round as one of the lower-ranked prospects that Kirby Smart has ever signed. And it's because Ladd McConkey is a lion. He's a dog. And I love the way he goes about the game, because he's not a guy who's going to yell at the quarterback, get me the ball more, throw it to me, I don't want to block. No one believed in me, blah, blah, blah. It's cool to think that, but I don't like when athletes come out and do that and try to announce that they've got doubters, they've got haters, and that's what drives them. I'm cool. It drives you some. It shouldn't be the main force that's driving you to be the best player you can be. You should have other whys. You should have other reasons other than proving the doubters wrong and saying that out loud. I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way, because you never saw Nick Chubb do that. You never saw Ladd McConkey do that. And those are players you win championships with. And Kirby Smart knows that. Kamari Laster, Javon Bullard, those guys too weren't highly ranked at all, and they are going to go in the second round, maybe slide to the first round, and again, you can think that and have that mentality, that's fine, but to go about your business quietly and do it on the field and do all your talking there while being a leader, while being a great teammate. He won the Werfel Award, the Community Award. He gives back to his community. When Kirby Smart offered Ladd McConkey, and again, one of the smartest things he has ever done anywhere in his coaching career, not only did they get a phenomenal player, but they got a guy who made the program better. He made the team better. He made the locker room better. He made the program better. He made Kirby Smart a better coach. And he left Georgia better than when he got there. Ladd McConkey did, 1,000%. He is a special player. And when I had the opportunity to go on the radio show in Buffalo earlier this week, I said, you know what? I want to talk more about Ladd McConkey and the story. It's a phenomenal story. Again, a 3-star story, kid who made 5-star plays. And again, it worked out for everyone but Jim Chaney in Tennessee. And I bet Kirby was smiling when he heard the news that Ladd McConkey was good enough to play for him, but Jim Chaney, the guy that he basically pushed away. No one was crying or upset when Jim Chaney left to go to Tennessee. They were kind of waving as he kind of waddled out of there. But Jim Chaney said, you're not good enough to play for me. And I can only imagine Kirby laughing in his office. And, Ladd McConkey made him pay. Ladd McConkey was an outstanding player, big play machine. I hope he goes in the first round. But you can read all about this. I've written this free story about Ladd McConkey over on Dawg, so make sure you sign up to our free newsletter. That link is down below. You can sign up over on Dawg Post and read this free story. I hope you do it. Thanks for watching this video. Hope to see you on the website.